is when the parachute's hanging out. Oh, the Shadow 2.0 just won Indy. 6:16 with a 7, 168 miles an hour, and boy, it was ugly, but man, it was beautiful at the same time.
Steve, it's been a difficult couple of months since your crash in Charlotte. By all accounts, you may not even have qualified for this race. You were holding the Wally of the U.S. Nationals. When you look back at this Wally, what will come to mind?
Woo, the struggle. It's been a rough 2 months. Car not running good, nothing's going good, parts are falling off, but I got a team owner and a sponsor that stands behind us. I want to thank Sheik Abdullah, Bahrain 1. I want to thank the presenting sponsor for this race for keeping us funded going to St. Louis. Thank my team. When we run and we run like crap, that's who you know who you got behind you. And it's been awesome. Sophie Rose, Daddy loves you. Here we go. The gap line is coming. So what are you going to talk about?
I want you to go, let's start back to, I think it'd be great to start at somewhere around Q2 or 3.
So you just want to kind of do a whole race play-by-play?
Right. Kind of where you at, what was the changes. I mean, it's up to you, but I think...
Let's go round by round.
Okay.
You got all the videos. Let's go round by round. Stevie Fast Jackson, KTR, Bahrain 1 Racing, inside the KTR engine room. Had a few minutes today and wanted to talk about the U.S. Nationals this year, 2018 NHRA Pro Mod E3 Spark Plugs U.S. Nationals, presented by Chevrolet and J&A Services. It started out right here. We built some new stuff to take to Indy. We had just come off of D&Q in 2 races in a row, which is a personal best for me. To ever D&Q 2 in a row, that's pretty good. It's easy to do that over here in NHRA racing. You've got super talented teams that are well funded that don't qualify all the time, including obviously us. We built some new stuff, left to go to Indy with high hopes. Indianapolis, the U.S. Nationals, is the granddaddy of them all. It's the most prestigious drag race in the world. And if you ever want to put an accomplishment on something, obviously the first would be that you won a championship. The second one's going to be if you won Indy or not. So when we left, when that rig pulled out of there, and we left to go to Indy, I had some high hopes. We unloaded the car off the trailer Q1. Tremendous amount of preparation went into the last month and a half off season. Those of you that don't follow our team closely can't understand, but it was 20 hours a day, 7 days a week, from the time that we left Norwalk until Indy. I put all my chips were in on the table on this. My guys killed themselves preparing this stuff. So to maintenance as much as we did, and then come out and start running like we did, it was devastating. Q1, I go up there and I'm ready to rip it, stage it. I go through my routine, let go, and I was like, what in the world? It felt like a nitrous car with a bottle valve off. No power. The connector for the fuel management comes unplugged, and we run the thing on the pump to a crowd pleasing 605. And that's one run on Friday. So like, you're excited about that one night run, you're gonna hammer it. You got 5 rounds to qualify. We went out there to swing at that thing to go 605. So I'm like, okay, that's real good. Get that bad one out of the way. We're going into Q2. Q2, we go out there and we tore up something in the drive. Tore up something in the drivetrain, and it goes like a 595 or something. I'm like, oh my gosh, we're behind. Generally in this class, if you don't make a good run in Q1, you're way behind. You don't make a good run in Q1 or Q2, you might as well pack up. That's just the way it is. If you go back and look at all the results, that's just how it is. Go up there Q3, and I'm like, all right, we got it now. We got all these gremlins tackled. Q3 goes out there and just throws the rods out of it. 300 feet on a good run, breaks the connecting rod, slings the rods out of it. So at this point in our pits, things are getting pretty dire. My guys, you can kind of see us wearing on them because I mean everybody's working hard. Everybody's not doing, we're not sitting around drinking pina coladas over here. Everybody's busting tail. Sitting down Billy, I'm like, all right, Billy, we got like 2 chances of this. Don't make it go into the last chance trying to get in the show. You won't get in. Our best shot in the morning, Sunday, Q4, load it up and let's rip. So we worked on the thing till about 2 a.m. Saturday night. We were at the track at 7:30 or 8 a.m. on Sunday, ready to rock. Take it up there, stage it, burn it out, let go of the button, and nothing. Motor zings up to 10,000, the car sits there. Rolls the sprag in the transmission. Comes back down, I idle down the racetrack. I went like a 12 and 9. So here we are, going to the last round of qualifying at Indy. We're qualified 30 out of 31, I think, 29 out of 30, something. And we're the first pair out because we're obviously the slowest car at the track, or the second slowest car. Nowhere in drag racing does that ever work out good. I have watched racing for a long time, and I have raced for a long time. Generally, if you haven't got it on the racetrack by the last qualifying session, you're not gonna qualify. It's too hard to get in. It's the worst conditions normally. You've missed your shot at the golden egg. I prepped everybody. I told my guys, I said we're up against the wall here. I want to let you guys know that win or lose, whether we go down the track or not, whatever happens, I'm proud of y'all. This race is not going to define us. We fought too hard. We'll come back and we'll get them in the next race. And everybody's like, "No, man, we're going in for it." I turned around, walked in the office, sat down with Billy, and I said, "We're going to burn the crank out of this piece of crap. It's either going to run and let the smoke out the bottle and get in the show, or it's not going." So we loaded it up, and that staging the car Q5 at Indy is probably some of the most nervous I've ever been. I've grudge raced for 100 grand before. I've run for championships all over the world. I've sat in positions where I had to perform. In that Q5, man, I was shaking going in. And I'll be the first one to tell you, as a man, I was shaking. When it left, that thing hiked the front end up and took off, and I was like, "Oh, it's dancing." It shifted once, and I'm like, "Come on, baby, shift again." It shifted, and the only thing I was thinking is keep it in the groove, don't steer it around, and please don't blow up. Because, I mean, I knew what kind of tune-up we had in it. Like, I was a part of the tragedy. Turns out it didn't blow up, stayed in the groove, and went 584 and got us in the show at number 13. And I've never been... You look back at all the times you would hate to be qualified 13th. And then go from the outside looking in, and you'll kill for that number 13 spot. So it's amazing how perspective changes, and what's good is good and what's not. At that point, I remember distinctly getting out of the car, jumping up and down, hugging everybody, high-fiving everybody we're in the show, and then looking at Billy and telling him, "We have to actually race now." Like, it took us 5 tries to just get in the field. Like, how are we going to beat these guys? And then, like, it was like a switch went off in my head. I was like, shit, I have been driving this car like crap. We've got to get ready to race mode. So I pulled the guys together. I was like, "All right, boys, we're in the show. Let's win the deal. There's no ducks over here in NHRA Pro Mod. Let's go." At that moment, everybody's fired up. Like, you know, it was a breath that our team needed. And we went into E1 against Sidney Frigo. Sidney Frigo and I raced in E1 Indy last year, and he beat me on a hole shot. That was a high-pressure round. Anytime you go against the pro-line contingent, you're racing against trillions of dollars and the smartest people in drag racing, and it's fun because they make you work harder than you normally would. And Sidney's an awesome guy, and a friend off the racetrack as well. And it's always good to run him. And I told him in the staging lanes that last year you beat me and won the race. I said, the winner out of this round is going to win the race. I said, if you beat me this round, I'm going to stand behind your car all the way in the winner's circle. And if I do it, you do. And it's weird that karma kind of worked out like that. But we managed to get around him. Had a good light, ran good.
Stevie fast, 018, left second. Oh, Sidney Frigo making a big move towards the center line. And Sidney.
Next morning, we're running Bob Ram. He had just outrun Ricky Smith, the points leader, and had won a 582. We'd win an 84. Didn't have lane choice in the first round. Didn't have lane choice in the second round. So when I went to run Bob, I was really nervous. It was kind of early in the day. Nitrous cars generally run good, and he had just laid one down. And we managed just to outrun him. Went an 85 to his 89 and just beat him. Good round, high pressure, high stakes every round in NHRA.
Reaction time going to favor Stevie fast by a country mile, and so isn't the gap at the top end.
But going into the semis, for me, was probably, that was what I call the dragon. You're running the #1 qualifier, Mike Castellana, one of the best Pro Mod drivers that's ever been. His car is ran by Frank Manzo, arguably one of the best alcohol crew chiefs ever been, and an awesome driver when he was racing. And those guys had almost went low ET of pretty much every single round. Huge mental and rivalry inner team wise. Those guys are sponsored by the presenting sponsor of the race, and we really want to smash those guys. So going up there, how do you prepare for that? You know, he had just won a 579 the run before. We had been a 585 or something. Like, how do you prep to run that? You just drag what you can drag up to the starting line and hope it's enough. You don't make a mistake, and if he slips, you make him earn it. Me and Mike were both ready on the tree. When you race Mike Castellano, I've said this on a lot. You're not going to consistently leave on him. You might get him here and there, but he's as good as they get. You can't rattle him. I don't play games with him because it doesn't work. I just go up there and we stage the cars and run. I had a spectacular light. He had a spectacular light. We ripped down there. He was in my door the whole way. I seen his front end. From the time I left the starting line, I look over. When I let go and I know I got a good light and I know I've squeezed it, I look at the tree when I go by to make sure that red light ain't on. I looked over and I seen the front of that AAP car in the door, and I was like, God dog it, it's going to be a good one. 800 feet, I look over and he's still there. I still look over and see his nose. So I'm like, all right, man, I don't look at it anymore. It's shoot handles and pay attention. When my wind light come on that one, I thought, we've got this race.
Games here, they both just dive in and stage, and they both leave on time. Jackson's car with a big wheel stand out in the middle of the race course, and he holds off Mike Castellano. 584, 246 miles an hour to a 585 at 250 miles an hour. Reaction time was within 7 thou.
And then next thing you know, you got to run Jose, who had just blazed the scoreboards down and run and defeated my teammate Khaled Belushi. Again, you're running another pro line car. Jose is, when I crashed the car in Charlotte, Jose was one of the first people to check on me when I was in the hospital. And he checked on me continually to make sure that I was okay after that wreck. And I have a lot of respect for that guy. He's a good guy, awesome driver, a good competitor, and he's awesome for the sport. Same thing as Mike. When you go run that guy, he's going to blow your head off on the tree. I mean, you just got to be up for it. There's no like, oh, I'm going to go 70 on the tree and win the race. It's just not going to happen. Not only can they flat out run you, he can outdrive you too. So Belushi and him had just had a 3-minute staging battle up there, and man, I wanted to have a staging battle with him too, but my motor was hot. I just blinked right in. When I let go, that thing hiked the front end way up there. Billy had some maximum dong in that thing. It picks the front end up and kind of drifts toward the wall. I'm thinking, set down, baby, set down, baby, set down, baby. It sets the front end down about that far from the wall, and it's in the marbles, and I look over, and he's sliding around. I threw the parachute, whacked it a couple times, got it straightened out. When I finally got in the middle of the lane, I seen him coming. I was like, you ain't going to get there, buddy. And we got there just before he did. I think we went 610 to his 650 or something. It's funny how final rounds work out. That would have lost any round of competition against any competitor, I think, in the whole race. So it's like, you got to have luck winning these. You're not going to win these races without at least a lucky round. Everybody was expecting the big fired up Stevie J top end interview. I was so astounded by the fact that we had just come from the absolute bottom of the barrel to the winner's circle at Indy. Like, I was speechless. I mean, I get out of the car and I was actually calm. Everybody's like, are you all right? You having a heart attack or something? I'm like, no, man, I don't even know what to say. Got a little choked up in the top end interview. The best part of all of it was seeing my guys, seeing pictures and video of my guys jumping up and down on the starting line after that. My team needed that win. That was a breath of life into our team. It came at the right time, and it has pushed us to work harder coming up. We got 4 races left. We're not out of this deal. I've got my big Bertha out, and I'm going to swing at it until we ain't got no more balls in the bag. So the rest of this season is going to be fun to watch. If you're a fan and a spectator and a follower of Pro Mod drag racing, you're going to want to see the next 4 races.
International class, it's so well said. And Stevie Jackson, if we'd have had 4 qualifiers, he wouldn't have made it.
He would not have made it. The car was a hot mess through qualifying, and he would not be one to deny it. And then all of a sudden, these guys found their stride. They found their stride, and last time he was able to upend Mike Castellano, a feat that looked nearly impossible early on this weekend. Gonzalez's car has been fearfully fast. He has been fearfully well driving. He had the burn down with Khaled Al-Malouchi, and it did not faze him a tick. He left the starting line first and got to the finish line first to win that round and put him in this place. Steve Jackson, I feel, is probably not one to be playing a game here, but I guess we'll see how it goes down as both cars are pre-staged. Jackson moving in already. Gonzalez begins to spool the turbo. Gonzalez goes in. They both leave. Gonzalez is out of the grill and sideways. Stevie fast. Jackson's going to win the U.S. Nationals with the parachutes hanging out. Oh, the Shadow 2.0 just won Indy. 6:16 with a 7. 168 miles an hour, and boy, it was ugly, but man, it was beautiful at the same time. Gonzalez's car came out of the chute, spun the tires, kicked right, and Stevie fast Jackson just won Indy.